Welcome back to episode 17 of the test run. Today I'm joined by a creator who has successfully managed to merge the art of creating videos on YouTube with the art of making music, and he's killing it. His songs have reached over 100,000 people on Spotify, and his YouTube channel has recently taken off. Please welcome Fantst. How are you today, Fantst?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Coming off of like a little cold, but I've pretty much fully recovered. Also, is it pronounced Fantst, Faintest, or Fantist?
Okay, so I think it's pronounced Fantst because I just went on Google Translate and that's what it said. But people always have these different names, like what you say. You say Fantist?
I say Fantist. I know Spoke says Faintst.
Yeah. So I guess those are the two only. I don't know if anyone has come up with anything else like that, but I think it's pretty sure it's just Fantst.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's your name, so I would pick what you want people to say and then just make it public on this podcast so nobody ever mixes it up again.
Okay. Preferably I would like Fantst. But if you say Fantist to Faints, I don't care. It's funny.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah.
All right, Fantst. How would you describe what you do on YouTube in one sentence?
Oh God, that's hard.
It's a tricky one. I gave it to Wenzo last week and it took him a bit.
I don't know because I don't even have that much content really. So just
Like if you boiled down your last 3 videos. Actually, let me broaden the scope. If you could explain everything you do on the internet, how would you explain it?
I guess just like variety content almost, because nothing is always like the same. Like if you were to look at my last 3 videos, I did one where it's beating Minecraft with one slot, which is like its own sort of like video, like a solo video. Then the next one is like an SMP video, and then the other one is like another SMP video, but it was sort of like a building almost video. So it's like very different. Plus the music part of it, where I just do music. So I guess it's sort of similar with the content side, but like the music and everything like that just makes it a little more different, I guess. But I would just say just a lot more variety, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like that answer because your past 3 videos have, as you said, been like super different in topic from one another. Like if you put different voices over like each of your last 3 videos, I would not have thought they were from the same creator, which is really interesting, I think.
That's a good way to look at it. I didn't think of it like that.
So I feel like you've been someone who has been around in like this space for a relatively long time. Like obviously not Captain Sparkle's long, but I remember like you were still a creator at the beginning of season 1 of Lifesteal. And I remember we were like in some Discords together. What were you doing back then? Like what was your plan back then and what did you want to do?
So throughout, like, before I even, like, really did YouTube, I wanted to be, like, a YouTuber, like, even since I was, like, a kid. And you can even, like, find, like, old videos of mine from, like, back in middle school I used to make. But that's, like, not on my channel. That's just some random YouTube channel I made. But like I think when I started off like back then, like 2 years ago, I was mostly just trying to find like a good group I could be around, I guess. Yeah. Because that's when like I first got my PC really, and I didn't know anybody online, so I was trying to make friends really, and then after that I was trying to see what works on YouTube, see what doesn't. I was trying to learn a lot from people and like just see like what I can do like as a trend, if there's anything I can make videos on. But yeah, I think back then it was just mostly finding what works for me, or finding like the friend group I could be around, finding like just people that are, I guess, smart with YouTube and things like that could help out. And mostly I think I was just experimenting a lot, because if you were to go to like my, like, let's say my old videos, it was a lot of like trend jack videos. Like at the time there was like a diamond mining method where like if you found like a clay patch and go like
Yeah,
six
yeah.
blocks. So like I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me make a video on that. And then that was like my first video that hit like over like 1,000 views on the channel. I'm like, oh, this sort of works. The next video, Dream did like a thing in his manhunt, so I posted it 50K. Then he did the boat clutch, and that's where like it sort of took off, and it had like 300K in like a week or two. I'm like, oh, this sort of works. Like, I was sort of like getting the feel of what YouTube really was.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you get off the topic of trend jack and go to like something that's your own style, and it's a bit different then. But I don't know. I guess I was just experimenting a lot, I think. So
Something that I think is really interesting about you, like a lot of people, like their size on YouTube reflects the connections that they have in the community. But I feel like you have the connections of someone like Spoke or Clown. Like you, for some reason, I don't know how, and if you could explain this, that would be great. But you just have like the craziest connections in like the SMP genre. Like I feel like you know everybody and everybody knows you.
yeah, I think that's a bit crazy. I don't even know how it started. I think back then I joined this YouTube algorithm Discord back then, and I think I just started to VC a lot within that kind of Discord, and a lot of I think I became friends with like a lot of people from there, like AJ the Bold. Who else? It was like a fair bit of people. I think I became friends with I think Sipover at the time. I just like, I think like whatever AJ said, like I don't want to I don't think this about me, but he said like he just thought that my energy when I came into like the VC was just like he just like felt comfortable talking with me, and like I was funny, I guess that's what he said at least. So I think from then I just try to get like into like a lot of like events, I would say, or
Yeah.
things that like a lot of YouTubers and other content creators were in. And I think the first server that I joined that was like pretty like I had a lot of content creators, I think it was C Clean.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the funny story about that is I think Leo Wook invited me. And the thing about that is that Leo Wook, I didn't even talk with him ever. But I remember I found his content before he was even like on Lifesteal, and he was doing like the brother SMP thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so cool, because I've never seen like an SMP video like that. I'm like, this is really cool. And then like I think I commented on it, and then like I became like a channel member of his, because I'm like, this is like this is the first time I've seen something like this. And then I think I joined like his Discord. And at the time, I think my Dream Bow Clutch video did sort of good. So I think he like saw my channel and was like, oh, okay, maybe this guy sort of knows what he's doing. I don't know. And then he like added me on Discord. And then from that, I think he just was like cool with me. I don't know why he was cool with me.
Yeah.
We never really interacted, but yeah, Leo Wook is brought me into like C Clean and things like that. But it's really cool.
I think C Clean is such an interesting server, because talking from a success perspective, like how well it did, I would consider it a flop. Like,
Yeah.
we were, what was it? Like, weren't we trying to raise 100,000?
I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't
I don't
100,000 the
remember.
goal?
Yeah, I don't know how much we raised from. I think maybe like, I think it was above 1,000. Definitely.
Yeah, but most of it came from the creators is the
oh
funny
yeah,
part.
because we were buying like supply drops or something.
Yeah, so I think it was a little bit too ambitious. The actual content on the server lacked a lot of things, but something really good that came out of that server was I felt like it was a hub for all these creators to like come together and get to know each other. Like I would consider C Clean, and for those who don't know, basically C Clean is a server that was started by Clown, and the goal was like for every, what was it, every $1 donated.
It was like one piece of trash gets off the server.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like for Mr. Beast's Team C's. But basically Clown invited like 200 creators, and there was basically zero content on that server besides what Ashwag and Radoons did.
Yeah.
But that was just a point where like I feel like the entire SMP community just came together for the first time.
Oh yeah, I feel that too. I feel like a lot of like different creators were there. And I'm pretty sure like you invited like Pengy like whenever he joined that. Like it was like a good impression of him. That was really cool. And yeah, that was just a lot of people were there. I think it's really cool that sort of happened. Instead of just like inviting like a small portion of like, let's say like larger creators, it was just like a lot because I think he also did that because also like the more the people, the more money it's gonna raise, obviously. So
yeah,
it was a good call. It was smart.
What I think is really interesting about your channel though is there was this one video, and it was the beating Minecraft on one slot, and I feel like from your previous video to that video, something must have clicked or something, because I watched that video and I was like, who even is this? This is not Fantst who made this. So what actually happened between your video before that and that video? Because I feel like there was just such a switch in mindset, or something happened and you just dropped a banger.
Okay, so what I will say is the first month of the video being up, I remember it had 3,000 views.
Yeah.
And it flopped. And then one person DM'd me and was like, I think you can definitely have like a better thumbnail for this video, because the previous thumbnails just never worked. It was like very low CTR, everything like that. I changed the thumbnail, instantly picked up, and now has, after 5 months, 1.3 million views on that video.
Yeah.
And I think that's crazy. But if you're talking about the video style, like the editing part of it, what I did is like just took a more like, I feel like I took more of a, like, not like a YouTube video, but like more like a, like I was like making like sort of like a movie kind of style to a video. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But usually what I do is like sometimes I can't think of like ideas like for editing. I'm like, oh, what do I do for this part? What do I do for this part? I just mostly go like to a lot of people's channels. I'll go to like Rex videos. I'll go to some of your videos. I'll go to like a lot of people's videos, and I'll just look at like what you guys did to like for it to work. And then I took a lot of inspiration from like a vast amount of people and just put it into my video. And I guess it worked out. And like I remember in the beginning where that's where like I mostly took the inspiration from. But then later on, I think like after like the donkey was in the nether, if you remember that part.
Yeah.
I just kind of free flowed. I just did like whatever I wanted to do from that point. And I think it still worked because like I don't know. I just think about other people and what they would do like with the video, sort of.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but also my editing style for these sort of things, I don't know how you edit videos, but the way I do it is like really slow and awful. Basically what I do is I don't write a script out. I don't do anything. I just start from the intro, work from the intro, and then go all the way up to like the end of the video. But I do all the sound, I do like all like the sound design, like the music, the effects, all in like segments. Like I would fully complete an intro before doing anything else in the video, and then like move on to other parts and complete them fully.
Yeah, I used to do that, and I would just waste so much time editing. Like I would be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to work on this section, but I feel like I need to finish it. now my style has kind of changed more towards like, okay, I'm kind of having a mental block for this sequence. Let me just move on to something later in the video. Oh, I don't really feel like doing replay shots right now. I'm going to add music or I'm going to add sound effects. I feel like for me, that's a lot more efficient, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I wanted to do, or like I want to do more of that, where like I would just maybe cut up the video first and then work on like, let's say, writing the script, and then I would get into like replay shots and then everything else in between, and then fully finish the video like in like sort of parts like that. But the thing why I don't do it, I think, is because like I just don't have like the vision in mind of what the video would look like before it's even like edited or me even starting to edit it. So when I cut it down into like the bits where I want to have the clips for the video, maybe there's some bits that I cut out that maybe are useful and I don't know it in the future or something like that. And it's like I want to like know everything that's ahead of me while I'm editing, instead of like having it cut up already. I don't know if that fully made sense, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay.
What is really interesting though is that when you posted that video, I remember watching it like either the day or the day after it came out, and I actually just pulled up my DM that I sent you. I said, dude, genuinely, your newest video was really, really good. Like, I rarely ever send messages like this, but keep doing what you're doing. It was genuinely so good. I don't know why I said good so many times, but I'm just like, something had to have happened. Like between your video before that to that video, were you just like consuming more content? Did you have drafts that you didn't post, or was it just boom?
I think it was literally just boom. Like I'm like every video I work on, like even if I think it's like sort of bad, like while like going through it, I'll post it regardless because like I want a video out at least.
Yeah.
But like I think this one, like this idea in general, I think I got this whenever Spoke uploaded like one of the videos like getting these illegal items in like 7 days or something. It was one of those videos. And I'm like, this is like a really simple video to make and like a very simple idea. But what can I do where it's like doing something with slots? And I'm like, oh, what if I beat Minecraft with like just a singular slot? And then I recorded it first. I try to think of like what I can do that's like very good for the video. So I'm like, okay, maybe get like a donkey in the video and give it like something that the viewers will like. If something happens to the donkey, they'll find it sad or like blah blah blah. Like build a relationship with the donkey or whatever. And I think like those sort of things work for videos where like you like viewers feel like a bond between like something inside the video, like sort of like a sad movie. Like at the end, you're always gonna cry because they build such strong character for like something. So I try to do that, and then the editing, just basing it off of a lot of other creators, just like style of editing. I guess I think like in the beginning, I was going for like more of like a chief guy editing style, and then I moved on to like I think like Rex style of like videos where I'll get like a cool like replay shot from a distance and then like follow the character or something like that. And then I don't know, it was just a lot of different creators like sort of style and then put it into one video. It's sort of what I did.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about like building characters, I think a lot of people fail to recognize that that is the basis of every single story. People say, "Oh, I'm gonna storytell and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn storytelling," but then they never establish their characters because your character needs to be someone, as well as like the other characters in your story. They need to be people that your audience can relate to and build a bond with. Obviously, there's always going to be those videos that like have the life sucked out of them and they're just highly hyper optimized like retention videos. But characters, so powerful if you do them right. Like you can, it's I almost find it like I was talking to someone a few weeks ago, and I was talking about characters, and I was like, I almost feel bad because once I've established this character, I can literally just like toy with my audience, which sounds wrong. I can just like make them cry. I can make them happy. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so they're powerful.
Mm-hmm. Like I remember in like my newest video, like I flipped the bases or whatever, and I got somebody in the server, and they did nothing wrong. They did absolutely nothing wrong. I just did that because it would be a good video. But I had to play around with the character to make it seem like he was hiding something or something was up with him.
Exactly.
So that gives me like motive to why I'm doing this. But yeah, I think it works very well. Even if your video is slow, like it doesn't have to be fast paced. If it's a slow video but builds like good character and there's something always happening, I think it would always be a very, very good video.
Totally agree. Yeah. And on top of that, like if you just have a character that people care about, they're going to stay for the character. Because like I could what's a really good example of this? Some movie. Let's say I keep referencing Interstellar. I'm not sure if you've watched it, but
I think I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, basically the main character, shoot, I already forgot his name, but he's established as this character who's just not perfect, and no character should be perfect, but he's basically separated from his kid when his kid is like 9 years old, and you're just rooting the whole time. Like there's all these points that are so slow in the movie and it's so boring. Like there's so many boring points in the movie, but you're just like, oh, I care about this character so much. I just want to see him succeed. And that's the only thing that keeps you going through.
I feel like another like show or that's similar to that kind of style is like, you could say like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Where like Walter White in the beginning had cancer, and you're like, oh God, like how, like what is he gonna do? Like he doesn't have enough money for surgery or anything. Like he's just poor. He's a poor man. So what does he do? He makes meth, and and like even though it's a bad thing, you're sort of rooting for him because he's like so down low, and it's like you just build such a strong like relationship to him because like you're like, this could have been like someone like a random person that like is in the same kind of situation as him.
I totally
it just makes you want to watch more.
Yeah. All right, pivoting a little bit into an interesting topic that I think pertains a lot to you, music. How did you get into music? Like how did you get into the process of making your first song?
Okay. So I remember I was watching this one YouTuber. I forgot his name. I think it was Kelly Wakasa. You know who that is? I
do, yeah.
So I remember I was and I was watching one of his videos, and he had like a song inside of it. It's called Ride or Die. I'm like,
oh
this
my
is a really
gosh,
good song.
That is such a good song. Wait. Okay, wait. Why is everything just like... Why are the stars aligning right now? Because I'm not even joking. I found out about that song from Kelly Wakasa too, and that's the only reason why it's in my playlist.
Yeah. I found out about that song from him, and then I'm like, this is really good. But then I looked a little more into it, and I'm like, this is like a small like an artist. It's a small artist. It's not really out there. I'm like, and then I looked at like his like I like went to Spotify, went to like credits, and then I like or one of his videos on YouTube, and then I like looked at like the producer or the person who made like the actual instrumental parts, and like I found he like credited some guy. I searched him up on YouTube, and then he just made a lot of songs. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I started looking at a couple, and then I found one that sounds really nice, and then I bought it. And then I'm like, you know what? Like, I think I can make a song with this sort of thing, because I've never like found any kind of like song that made me want to make music out of it.
Mhm.
But like this channel that I found that they bought rights to made really good songs, and I think I just scrolled, found one, and then just I didn't know what I was doing, but I just started rhyming a lot of words, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I remember I posted it, and I'm pretty sure like I still didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know if it was a good song. I didn't know anything. But I think I gave it to Bubbo because he made songs and he like made everything sound good. He like just did everything like in the producer standpoint.
Mhm.
And that was like the first song I made. So like the inspiration from my first song or why I even started making music was Ride or Die. And that's
Interesting.
really funny to me. And
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
oh, and I was just gonna say like even like as a kid, like my parents were like or one of my dad, he was like a musician. So he really wanted me to get into music. And I remember when I made this first song, he was like wow, like you definitely got this. Like this is really good.
Yeah, that's
And then
awesome.
I just started making more from that.
I feel like the issue with if I tried making pop songs, I feel like I'd YouTube it, if that makes sense. Because especially in the music industry nowadays, a lot of things are packaged in certain ways to make them more appealing,
Oh
especially with
yeah.
like TikTok, for example. Like
Yeah,
people will
yeah.
specifically include like one or two lines that would work in a TikTok so
Mhm.
that they try to like make it go viral or whatever. Have you had issues with that, or would you say that your music is more like pure self-expression?
I think I never look at that kind of side where it's like I need to make this like viral on TikTok or I need this to like have like two lines, three lines that are just like you could play that part on repeat just forever and ever. I
Mm-hmm.
think what I do when I make songs is it's actually really stupid, but I never like all the songs I make, they're never really from the heart, I guess. They're just more words. They're
Yeah.
just I don't express anything that I say in the song. It's more like um the song that I find, the instrumentals, the guy posted on YouTube. I find it. He has a title for those songs. So I just take the
Okay.
titles that he uses and then just make a song out of that title.
Okay.
Um, so it's not really like I just make it for like my like I guess obviously to sound good, but I just
Mm-hmm.
make it because I think I just find it enjoyable. Um I don't make it for like virality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But more just for fun.
So if you could pick one of the two, would you rather be like the biggest YouTuber in the world or the biggest musician in the world?
Mm. I would say that's a hard one because okay. I would say YouTube regardless because that's just what I've wanted to do since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um but like if you were to look at like a music standpoint, music is always going to get listens no matter what. Songs from
Yeah.
1990 will still be listened to today. And
Yeah.
you'll always get listeners no matter what if the song is the best song on planet Earth or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is a different thing. You see Mr. Beast's like most popular video, the Squid Game one. It only has about 300 million views, I think, which is still a lot. But if you were to look at a song, I think one song I can think of is like The Weekend or something. I think Blinding Lights has 3 billion listen or watches or listens,
Yeah.
and that just like it hits such more like more people with songs than videos. But I think YouTube is definitely what I want to do. Um, but I think music is just more. It hits more of an audience than
Mm-hmm.
YouTube does, I guess.
So
But
does
yeah,
one stream count as one person, or can there be like multiple streams on
I
a single song?
I think one stream counts as a single person, but I think if I were to play it 5 times, it would count for like it would count for me 5 times.
Hmm.
Is that what you?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think that's how it works. I don't really know like the let's say like the algorithm of like Spotify or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But I was told that if you want your song to be out there or try to be out there, you have to publish it on. I use DistroKid.
Hmm.
And you have to publish it on there, but you have to schedule it at least 2 to 3 weeks after you actually published it because that gives playlists and other companies time to like look at your song and say, "Oh, this is pretty good. Let me put it on a public playlist that has over 1 million listeners or whatever."
Hmm.
Um, but if you just upload the song right away, it won't do that because they don't have time to look at it.
Interesting.
And yeah, so if you want your song out there, definitely publish it like 3 weeks later and then hit up different playlists and different just people in general that are way higher than you and see if they enjoy the song because you could probably be in a playlist. Like I was kind of sad that I didn't do that for More Than Friends because
Hmm.
I genuinely think it could have done that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, More Than Friends, like that song, I remember listening to it the first time. I was like, bro, this is actually a banger. And then for a while, whenever Vortex and I were just driving to like go grab lunch or whatever, we would just blast that in the car. And
That's funny.
all right, so I
Yeah,
have an
that's really cool.
interesting question.
Hmm.
So when you wrote the lyrics for More Than Friends, and if this is too personal, just let me know. Do songwriters do their lyrics actually reflect their lives, or were you just like making up lyrics?
So for the most part, I think it's fairly made up.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I said earlier, it's like I look at like the title of the song that like the instrumentals are from,
Yeah.
which was More Than Friends, but it was supposed to be a happy song. I'm pretty sure he intended it to be like, oh, like we're more than friends, ha ha ha. Let's go out and play in the flowers or something. And then I just made it like I think I just made it like a really sad song where it's like, wow, you and this other guy are definitely more than friends, and what are we? You lied to me, this and that. But I think the only part that was like so most of it was just made up basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the last part was like um just throw me on the shelf and leave me in the corner of your room. I'm just a dusty twit to you, not even anything brand new. So why don't you just leave me here and go with him? I think that just like I think I've thought of that in the past where like I was just like almost like treated like just like a toy, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like you just play around with me and then leave me like somewhere. Like who cares, You can go get a new one.
Yeah.
But I think that's like the only part where it's like sort of like from the past, I guess, or like made sense towards me. But everything
Mm-hmm.
else was just, I just had a cool part that I can rhyme with and it made sense. So,
Yeah, because I remember I was in a Discord call with Spoke and a few other people, and I was making some song out of this beat that I just found online, and I was just writing
mhm.
the most random stuff that just did not apply to my life. And there's also like, I'm not sure to like call anybody out, but there's rappers from my school, like SoundCloud rappers, right?
Uh-huh.
And I've listened to some of their stuff, and don't get me wrong, like the beats are good, the
Yeah,
lyrics are
yeah.
fire, but these kids are not raking in millis a month, dude. Like that is just not. They have like 53 plays on SoundCloud, and I'm like, bro, what are you saying?
Yeah, that's why I never really liked like rapping like that because Mostly just whenever you rap, it just talks about things that are just completely like don't make sense. Like you're no one is killing people, no one is getting millions, no one is whatever. Like it's I think rap songs like that are really silly.
Hmm. I mean, I think there's a lot of validity to some rap. Like for example, Chief Keef came from O Block, which is like a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
really bad neighborhood.
Hmm.
But like yeah, like these kids from my school, dude, they do not have ice on their wrist, bro. Like that's just not. Oh my gosh. Do you have any plans for where you want to take music? Like, do you ever want to become this person who's performing music on a stage in front of like thousands of people, or do you just want to
Mm.
like keep it to yourself and just post songs?
You know, I was thinking about that, and the thing about like performing on stage is like I'm relatively really nervous when going up on stage or like in
Hmm.
front of a big group of people. So I don't know how I will handle like being able to like look at thousands of people in front of me and be able to like sit there and like sing well and do this and that. And I think it's like very just nerve-wracking. But
Hmm.
if there is a time where like my music does get better and people would want that, maybe. I don't know if it'll be like possible to do, but if there's a point where I'm the size of I don't even know who, but like I think I will do it. Basically, what I'm saying, if I get a lot larger.
Hmm.
But for now, um, just make songs for fun.
Hmm. And what's your definition of a lot larger? Is that like some number of streams on Spotify? Is that a certain amount of like followers?
I think, um, I think first the amount of listeners and plays on my songs, maybe like more than like let's say 500,000 or
Yeah.
a million almost. And then
Hmm.
also maybe contribute to like sort of YouTube. So like maybe I would have to have like a big following on there also, I
Hmm.
guess. Because if maybe some people don't even know I make music on YouTube. So then like if I were to say it in a video or something, people would be like, "Oh, I'll check this out." Maybe get some more listeners and then more people would probably want to come because they know who I am from YouTube instead of like the music side, I guess.
Hmm.
Um but yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Um, if you watched Vortex's new video, which I'm not sure if you did, but at the very end, at the outro, he basically played this Spotify song from this like relatively small artist. Um, I think like their biggest song has 30,000 streams, but
Mhm.
he was like showing me their music in the car and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of want to help this artist grow and I want to make one of their songs memorable." Cuz you know how Tommy in it at the end of like his old Skyblock videos, he had that one song that he would just play every single time, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
how it became memorable for a lot of people. So he said he wanted to do that.
Mhm.
Um why haven't you started putting your own music like in your YouTube videos? Cuz I feel like that would just be so powerful.
That's true. I haven't even really thought of that. I think the main reason why I haven't is because like I just feel like it wouldn't fit with the
Mhm.
video a bit. Like it was like a really intense video, and then all of a sudden, just my song plays in the end.
More than friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it wouldn't make sense. But like I see what you're saying. Like it's definitely a good way to for like the viewers that watch to the end. They're like they get a bit of my song, and they're like, oh, I didn't even know he makes music, and then definitely check me out. I think it's smart to do, but I feel like it wouldn't fit like for some
Hmm.
videos. But
Yeah.
yeah, I might give it a shot. Maybe in my next video just for fun to see like if anything happens. But
I think it would be really interesting, yeah, because YouTube is such like it's such a powerful tool for so many
hmm
things, and I think a lot of people just underestimate like cross pollination on YouTube.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm not sure if you knew, but I made like two songs for my last video, and
Mm-hmm.
I just put one of them on like my shorts channel, and I didn't even have a Spotify link until 7 days after. And I just put the Spotify link in a pinned comment, and somehow it already has like 4,000 streams on
Oh yeah, I'm looking
Spotify,
at it. 4,400. That's pretty good.
which I don't even know how that happened, but I'll take it. So,
Yeah. I remember you also told me once that I'm like you said you should start making like TikToks with the sound.
yeah.
Or shorts or something like that. And I would do that. But I remember like I always watched like the videos like Jake used to do those videos where he's like this one guy goes into the studio and makes this song and then is like promoting his own song. And it's a really good way to promote the song. But I don't know how I would do that as like a faceless creator, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like do I have to like show Minecraft footage or something in the background while the song plays? Like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I thought about it for a while and I couldn't think of like a good idea to how I would promote it through like a TikTok or like what I would even do to promote it. But maybe in the future I could definitely do something or like just ask other people because I know a lot of people do the thing where it's like, hey, can you like use my song in like a TikTok or something
Yeah.
to push it a little bit more. So I don't know. I might do something like that in the future.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's like the main reason why I haven't promoted it in like YouTube or TikTok or anything like that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Are you still in high school right now?
I actually finished last year and I took
Last
a
year?
gap year from college.
That's cool. Yeah. Dude, I'm graduating in 2 days, and
Mm.
it's been like so bittersweet the past couple days. Like saying goodbye to everybody and
Yeah,
doing all
yeah.
like the final things for the final time. Cause our school basically has this hallway that's specifically dedicated for math classes, and
Hmm.
we were walking through it, and one kid is just like, this is going to be the final time we're walking through this hallway. And I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah,
So,
it's like I don't know. Thinking back to high school, like there was definitely times where I missed it. Definitely like hanging out with like old friends and just doing just whatever. Because I
mhm,
remember like freshman year, sophomore year, that was probably like one of the best years
yeah.
because I felt like even though school was difficult at that time, just like the amount of friends that I had there and we like just did whatever. Like after school, we would just go out to like a park or do whatever we wanted to. And then obviously COVID hit and then it just like
Mhm.
stayed at home for the entire year. And then senior year was relatively this, well, it wasn't the same. We had to go into school. But everyone like wore masks. No one really wanted to go out because of COVID.
Mhm.
It was just it was a bummer, but
Yeah. Finally over though.
mhm.
If you don't mind me asking, what are your plans for like the next school year?
Um, so I'm thinking about. So first, I want to keep doing just working on YouTube. Just
Yeah.
try to make at least one video a month. Um, and I'm thinking about going to college this year.
Mhm.
Like if summertime something happens or whatever, I'll go. But I'm thinking about taking another just like a year off just to fully work because YouTube is sort of working out, and I want to
Yeah.
take full advantage of that. Um, and just do as much as I can in the meantime, and then obviously if it doesn't really work out to the greatest this year, I'll go to college next year.
Mhm.
But school was never really like my thing. That's why I never really wanted to go. I didn't want to
Yeah.
like just go to college and then like realize that I don't like it and then drop out and then have to pay like um for college. It just like I feel like that would be like just a big waste of money if I were to do that. So
Mhm.
I just want to take like another year to work on YouTube fully. Just give my all to it now, If it doesn't work out, then, we got college.
Yeah. Is there like a certain point with YouTube where if you reach that point, you would be like, okay, I'm good. I'm not going back to college. I'm happy where I am, and I'm just going to keep grinding.
I think the point where I think it's like good for me to just say like I'm gonna work on YouTube and that's it is at least past like 200K maybe,
Yeah.
because like you're guaranteed at least if you post consistently you're guaranteed at least maybe 100K views per video,
Yeah.
like bare minimum. But if you build like a strong fan base and you keep working, you keep like uploading, I think past 200K is definitely like the point where it's like, okay, I think I can do this like full time almost,
Mm-hmm. I totally get that. All right. So this is a question that I ask to every single person who comes on.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals in general for the next year? Like for today, from today to, wait, is today June? June 2nd. Okay.
June 2nd.
So what are your goals like June 2nd, 2023 to June 2nd, 2024? And then what are your goals in the next 5 years?
Oh god. Let me think. Well, number one goal is obviously to get past like at least 100K on YouTube.
Yeah.
And just keep trying to make videos consistently. It's hard for me, but I have to do it because if I want this to be my job, then obviously, So in a year, I'm thinking past 100K. 5 years, I'm thinking, well, if I keep working on YouTube, then obviously I wanted to get past like at least 1 million,
Mm-hmm.
And definitely try to do something like obviously have YouTube, but then do something like on the side, maybe like start working on something with like friends as like a business kind of thing, because I think that would be sort of fun to experiment with. But mostly just I think working on YouTube for the most part, and then doing a little bit of everything, just like
Mm-hmm.
a bit more music. Maybe if there's something else that pops up in the future, I'm like, oh, I could take the opportunity to do something like this. And yeah, I think that's just sort of the plan for now.
Yeah. And like, where do you want to take YouTube? Is there this glorified exit point where you're just like, okay, I hit 10 million. Goodbye, everybody. Or is this just something that you just want to keep grinding at until, I guess, you become the biggest creator on earth?
I don't think that's gonna happen, but I think the stopping point for me, if there was, is definitely like where like I just like have no more ideas, have nothing else to do. I am tired of making videos. I'm tired of editing. I'm tired of recording. I'm just like I have to quit or just sort of stop. But definitely not in the next 5 years, let's just say, because I'm still young. I think I have a lot more potential
Mm-hmm.
for a lot other things to do, including YouTube. So I think I want to just keep working on it. But like, if it gets to the point where I'm like in my 30s or 40s, I think I need to stop maybe,
Yeah.
because I can't be like entertaining or, just I'm too old.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like, I feel like my channel kind of has a shelf life. Like, I could probably keep working on this into my mid-20s, but
Mm-hmm.
if I started getting, into like 28, 29, 30 hits around, I'll be like, okay, hold on a minute. And then if I'm even doing YouTube at that point,
Yeah.
I feel like that would be my exit point. It doesn't really matter where, okay, if I'm still like incredibly relevant in 13 years, um I would be I would probably still keep working on YouTube, but you know, like 12 years is a lot of time and
Yeah.
I don't know
It
where I
just
would be.
yeah, and like thinking to like 13 years and like in the future, you would have to think of so much new ideas because there's so much people just like coming up with like new ideas and like so much people are already doing things that are like already been done and there's like the ideas for like YouTube or videos are just like I feel like they're running out. Like there's not much else to really do. Obviously there is,
Mhm.
but it's like we don't know that yet. There has to be like a next big thing that has to pop up for someone else to like take the place and like seize the opportunity for that certain thing.
Yeah,
But we just have to wait for that, I guess.
I agree. And I feel like back then it was so easy for me to come up with really cool ideas. Now it's a lot more
Mhm.
difficult just because I've kind of like upped the baseline for what makes a good idea. But
Yeah.
it's honestly like so I'm going into college next year and I was
Mhm.
kind of thinking about it and I think what I'm going to do in college I don't know if I should even be saying this, but like I think my priority in college is going to be to be the best student I can, which sounds so like unconventional because I
Mhm.
did not like high school that much. Like obviously I liked hanging out with other people and
Yeah, yeah.
some classes were really fun, but the thing about me is when I have all the time, I've kind of come to realize this. When I have all the time in the world to do YouTube, I slack off and I procrastinate and I can't build like an actual schedule to work on it.
Mhm.
But when I have something else, like let's say school or some other thing I'm working on, and YouTube gets kind of pushed to the side a little bit, that's when I feel like I'm most efficient because it's like, oh, this is crunch time. I need to be
That makes
maximizing my
sense.
time. So
Yeah, yeah.
it sounds so unconventional. Like I'm gonna be the best student I can, but I feel like if my focus in college is college,
Mhm.
then like the YouTube side of me would grow more than if my focus in college was just YouTube.
I think that's like a good like I feel like that's smart. I don't know why, but like whenever you just have something else, it's like you want to do the other things more because that's taking up so much
Exactly,
time.
exactly. And when I saw the most growth on my channel, it was when um like I was sweating my junior year to keep my grades up and study for all these tests. Um
Mhm.
that's when I would be like I obviously didn't have the greatest like balance. I would be going to bed super late, but that's when I feel like I loved YouTube the most and that's when I feel like I loved creating the most. So I kind of want to get back into that groove, especially because senioritis hit in really bad and I just slacked off on YouTube for so long. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's really hard nowadays like for at least for me to like build a good schedule since I don't like the only thing I can really do or am doing is YouTube and it's like yeah, I have all the time in the world, but it's like I feel like it's just like sort of draining, like just like always sitting here, trying to like if I were to have something else in the meantime going on and I would come
mhm,
home, I would be like genuinely like excited. I'm like, okay, I finally have all this time. I can do like I can finally like edit, I can record. But then like if you're just like doing this like every day, it's like it's all the same, There's never like a feeling of like excitement where it's like, oh, I
exactly,
get to
exactly.
finally do this.
And I think
But
the reason for that is because there's no comparison. You can't compare it to anything else. So I don't think that college will be nearly as bad as high school, but like I would go into high
oh yeah.
school and I can slander my high school all I want now because I'm never stepping foot in there again. But like it was there were so many classes that were just so boring, and I felt like the information that I was learning in there was just so pointless. And
Yeah.
um I would just like sit in class daydreaming about YouTube all day. And then when I finally came home, I would just grind out YouTube. But
Yeah.
when YouTube became the only thing that I focused on, like, and school wasn't, I kind of pushed school out of the way. I was like, it kind of became less exciting because there was nothing that was less exciting than YouTube, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I definitely like felt that. Like I remember when I was in high school, and like I would always think about like when I come home, I can do this and that. When I get on my PC or whatever, and then it's like I feel like you also build like a lot of ideas when you're bored, like in school or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just like when you're at home on your computer, like yeah, you can think of ideas here, but it's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the feeling you get when like you're somewhere else not doing what you're like not doing YouTube. It's like easier almost, like thinking of like things. I don't know why, but at least for me that's the case.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is some way, like obviously there has to be a way where you can build a schedule around YouTube and you treat it like it's a normal job. But I mean, there's a lot of creators that do that, and they're like, yeah, okay, I wake up at 8 a.m. and I work until noon, and I take my break, and then I work from 1 to 6. And I'm like,
but do you want to treat it like a job?
Exactly.
Like I want to treat it like a hobby.
Exactly. And I found that when I treat it like a hobby, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have as much fun as I can, and I'm going to try to like beat this game that YouTube has created. That's when I've seen the most growth, and that's also when I've had the most excitement surrounding YouTube. So it sounds so stupid, it sounds unconventional, but I think at least for like the first couple of months in college, I'm going to set my focus to being like just a good student, and then YouTube will come second. And I'll see what happens. If my upload schedule just like falls to pieces, I'll have to reconsider things, but I have a good feeling that it won't.
Yeah, I definitely think you could do it, because it's just like what you said earlier. Like you already experienced something like this in the past, and you experienced like the most like consistency, I guess, at that time. So I definitely think it's possible. Plus, from what I've heard, college is not as difficult as high school, since you get like a lot more leeway on anything you do. Well, not leeway, but just free time, or more freedom, I guess, than high school. So
yeah, it'll be interesting, but I'm kind of excited. So, well, guess what, Fantst?
What?
It's already been an hour.
Oh, okay. It doesn't even felt like an hour.
Yeah, I know. It's like every single time I do these, I basically just stare out the window the whole time while I talk into a microphone, and it just like time just flies by.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the outro song?
I'm ready.
Okay, wait. Let me grab my headphones. I have to like play them, and I have to play the outro song into my AirPods. All right, here we go. Wait, are you able to hear that?
Yeah,
It's like,
I hear that.
All right, fans, is there anything that you'd like to leave with?
Subscribe.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
No plug, no add me on Discord if you're a creator.
Oh, guys, subscribe to Fantst and Parrot, and watch all our videos, because it's, yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks.
And check out Fantst on Spotify.
Oh,
exactly
Spotify.
how his name is put in the title. Listen to More Than Friends if you've made it here, because that's actually a good song. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. It was a blast. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the test run. If you're on Spotify, make sure to leave a 5-star review and follow. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.